Hello everybody, I hope that you are absolutely incredible and thank you for listening to this week's episode of Design Your Legacy, which is soon to be rebranded into the Mandala Effect. But I am working on that one step at a time. I have just up sticks and left my cozy little life in London, and I've decided to go on a bit of a pilgrimage of sorts. I am travelling around, living the nomad life for a while, something that I felt called to do. I was drawn to in a very synchronistic way. It was not something that I had planned. I'll just apologise now because the flat that I am in is on quite a busy road, but hopefully my mic will drown out all the background noise. My voice. So welcome to this week's episode of Design Your Legacy. I am Roseanna. I am the host of Design Your Legacy, and it's with this podcast that I hope to share my journey and my insights into life and inspire you to go out and live your best life possible, because in the media, in the news, we don't always see what is possible for us. We are told that we are not enough, that we cannot do this. Our kind of society has been built to keep us small, and we are not supposed to, we are free beings and with huge massive souls that go so much further than this physical body that we are in. Yes, I share my journey, I interview other people, and together I hope that kind of we begin this ripple effect of change throughout the world. So today I'm going to talk about how I ended up in the seaside town of Folkestone and the synchronicities that led me here, but also synchronicities in general, because quite often we take these synchronicities for granted. You know, they're just coincidences. You know, that's Einstein said that we can choose to see everything as a miracle or nothing as a miracle. I am one of the people who choose to see everything as a miracle. The sun setting and rising every single day is a miracle. A human being born is a miracle. The fact that my cat Russell is here in one piece is a miracle. Oh my goodness, this morning I caught him climbing on top of the range cooker. He was on the fan head, and I was like, oh my goodness, Russell, you can't have that many lives left. Please get down. Anyway, so synchronicities. I ended up in Folkestone by sheer miracle. It's not a place I'd ever heard of before I booked my Airbnb. So this is my plan. I'm Airbnb-ing it throughout the UK, potentially the world, for the next 6 months. I have penciled out in my diary. COVID has proved to us that the nomad life is possible. It's one of the great things. COVID has proved how free we actually are and can be, even when we're locked down. And you know, there are digital nomads living all over the world, and I've chosen Folkestone to begin my journey. I don't know if you've ever been to Folkestone. It's got mixed reviews, but what I'm experiencing so far, well, I've just been sat by the sea for an hour, which was so beautiful and so needed for me. One of the main reasons I left London was because I needed to be around. I needed air, I needed space, I need to heal, and I believe that nature does that in the best way. That nature is so healing, and again, something else we take for granted. Again, nature is another miracle that we have that that isn't given enough credit for what, you know. It's just there every day. Oh, the trees are just there. We don't. The sea is just the sea. We don't really take time to be grateful for the magic that it gives us. So So I've just been, Folkestone has this beautiful beach. It's very, very creative and arty space. Where I am is a very, very creative and arty space. And I'll not lie to you, this is not the type of place that I would normally stay in. Before this, so how I ended up in Folkestone, I was going to live, I was definitely leaving London, and I was looking at moving to the London of the countryside, and I was going to be moving to Oxfordshire, and I still might in the long term, I don't know, but I was looking to rent, find somewhere to rent for 6 months, for a year or so, and looking to move to a place. I had the village, I knew where I wanted to go, and there were so many beautiful cottages coming up. Like, I'm the cottage country girl life, I love it. I love the country, the chic country luxury, cozy pubs, but not like your old man pubs, like your gastro pubs, the high life in the countryside is what I was after, and it was just becoming so difficult. It felt so heavy on me trying to find this place to live. There were lots of properties coming up. I was finding difficulty in finding somewhere that I wanted, somewhere that suited, somewhere that didn't go straight away. So I was taking this as a sign, like, okay, I'm not meant to move here yet. This is not working for me. This in itself is a synchronicity, in that it is something, there's just something not quite aligning here. So I'm going to take a step back, and what else am I going to do? And then within 24 hours of me making this decision, okay, so I don't know where I want to live. Yes, I want to live here in this particular village, but it's not working. Where else? Somebody had said to me, Roseanna, you're supposed to be by the seaside. You are, like, your soul goes back as far as Atlantis. And this is like mind blowing, and I don't know quite where I sit with how I feel or feel about that, but what a magical thought to have. I love it. So I was torn as to whether I was going to go live by the sea, or whether I was going to, do I really want to live in Oxford, or do I want to be able to wake up and go for a walk to the sea? So I thought, well, I am free. I don't have a boyfriend in tow. I don't have a shop that I have to look after. You see that? For anyone listening to the podcast, you need to watch the video, because Russell's exploring. Please don't break anything. So I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I thought, I'm the most free I've ever been. And in reality, we're all free. We're all free all the time. You make the choices that keep you not free. So I was thinking, okay, so what can I do? I know I'm going to go and explore the UK in Airbnbs. I have 3 months before Christmas. I'll head home to Derbyshire for Christmas. I'm going to start in somewhere down south and work my way up, testing out towns, areas that I might want to live. Stay for 4 weeks at a time, because it's cost effective on Airbnb, but also because of this little guy, and I want him to be able to kind of be comfortable in a place before we move on again, rather than moving week by week. So I was searching Airbnbs on the south coast, and this place popped up. I didn't look at anywhere else. It popped up, and I was like, oh my God, am I going to stay here? And one of the things that drew it to me, you can't see on my video, but there's writing all over the walls. And I knew that this was a creative space. I knew that in this space, something big could happen. I didn't know anything about the town. I didn't even really know where Folkestone was. Just anybody who doesn't know, it's near Dover. So I then kind of got caught up in the magic of it. And the writing on the wall says, as poets, we are bullets to inspire, change and nourish. And I was like, that is incredible. anybody who can tap into their creativity, their soul, their heart's desires, I believe is a poet. We're all creative in our own way. You don't just have to use words to be a poet, an artist. You don't just have to use paint to be an artist. Any creative expression for me is that. So, and I saw it and I was like, yeah, absolutely, here to inspire. So I was like, right, okay, well, I'm going to book this place. Message, can I bring the cat? Yeah, absolutely. So here I am in Folkestone, and then I was like, okay, I need to see some kind of sign that I'm supposed to be here. And this is where synchronicities come in. So I didn't once question that I was supposed to come to this place. I didn't research Folkestone before I booked it. I just had this calling inside me and I followed it. Whereas I'd been chasing the Oxfordshire thing for months, I'd been looking at it for ages, making myself so worked up about it. And it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be exciting life. It's not supposed to be something to get worked up over. So anyway, I booked this place, and the morning after I booked it, I went about my day, got in the shower, excited about where I booked, and I was like, right, it would be really helpful to kind of have some knowing that I'm on the right path, because sometimes I can't. In the past, I've always called myself impulsive, and this is a part of my persona, is that I'm an impulsive person without necessarily thinking things through. But I needed to know whether this was an impulsive decision or whether it was a heart, following my heart, following my soul, following God, a miracle, whatever. So I looked, and I went in the shower, and I came out of the shower. The sign that I normally ask the universe for is feathers. And there was a white feather had flown in my window and was sat next to my mirror. I couldn't believe it. That's never happened before. And the window doesn't open a lot because otherwise my beloved Russell would run away. So he wouldn't necessarily run away. He'd just want to explore. We're very, very similar. We like to be free and to explore and not be caged in. Unfortunately, Russell is an indoor cat, which he doesn't, I think, he doesn't really appreciate. I'm just trying to keep him safe. Oh, thank you. I'm Russell's ego. So this white feather flew in, and I was like, okay, that's a sign. I posted it on Instagram. I don't normally post about this because sometimes, we shouldn't really need to ask for a sign. The fact that our heart is telling us is enough. But sometimes it's nice to have validation or confirmation from outside. So I was like, oh my God, I made a huge decision and I found this feather, and look, here I am, I'm going to do it. And I didn't say what it was, but yeah, so I was absolutely gobsmacked, and I was like, I knew it was amazing. And then I arrived in Folkestone, and everything went really smoothly, the move. I was absolutely terrified, and my ego is freaking out, and my ego has calmed down a bit now. I feel much safer now, but I can see the lessons that I'm here to learn already. They're cropping up. There's lots and lots here that is, I'm here to learn something big, and that's exciting and also terrifying. But I was freaking out a bit on the first night. It had been a stressful week. I was exhausted. I'd been at a wedding. I'd let my hair down as much as I can let this fluffy curly little mop down, and I had an amazing time. But then I was running on adrenaline all week because I was so exhausted from packing and vans and and trying to get Russell in the car and leaving a place that had been so healing to me. So I got here and I was like on edge, and normally not normally, I used to deal with that by drinking, and now I wasn't. I had maybe half a tin of cider and I couldn't even drink the rest. I was like, I need to go to bed. So anyway, I went and had a shower and went to bed, and my ego was uncomfortable because it's not the type of place I'd normally stay in. It is so out of my comfort zone, going from this, this chic luxury that I'm used to and that I've built for myself, and now I'm in, creative vibes and artsy, and the type of parts of my persona that I have never fully embraced. So I'm here to learn that, and here to learn that your identity is just that. It is not who you actually are deep down and within your soul. So lots of lessons already. But I went down to the I went to close the blinds. Guess what was there? A white feather. How the fuck does a white... I know how it got there. It came out of a pillow or the duvet or whatever, but there was a white feather on the floor next to the window. You can't make this stuff up. So I was like, I made the right decision then. So there you go, a miracle, a synchronicity, and I've been led to a place I never ever had even heard of before I saw this Airbnb. And here I am, ready, embarking on this wild journey that is so magical. And I'm 3 days in, I don't know where I'm going next after this 4 weeks. I haven't quite figured that out yet. That's my I'm leaving it up to where I'm guided, or so we'll see. But another synchronicity I wanted to talk to you about is quite a big one. I've mentioned it before, but the place I have just left was sent to me from heaven. I cannot even tell you how miraculous it was that I found this place. So me and my ex had split up. I'll try and keep this story quite concise because it's quite a long one and I can ramble and go off on tangents like I am doing now. So I had split up with my boyfriend. I wanted to stay where I was living, but they wouldn't have me because I was self-employed. I couldn't prove my income was enough to keep the rent on. It was all a bit ridiculous, really. Especially considering the place I went to was a lot more money and it was fine. So anyway, I was like, right, well, to be honest, I kind of did I bit my nose off to spite my face. I was like, well, you don't want me, or fuck you, I'm out then. So I was a bit stubborn and decided to move out. So I was looking and I spoke to loads of estate agents. This one estate agent, bless him, must have shown me 12, 13 properties and nothing was right. And there was one that I was like, I could make this work. I don't really like the area. It's dead. There's not much here. It's just buildings and, the place is a bit grotty. I don't really feel comfortable here. The people had said they'd redecorate for me. There were just a few things that weren't quite right, but I was going to compromise and say, yeah, okay, that's fine. So, but I really didn't want it. And the estate agent said, right, there's one property, it's not even on the market yet. I really would like to show it to you. I think it's perfect. It is over budget by a lot. But it is perfect for you. So I was like, right, okay, well, what's the worst that can happen? At the time, my business was flying. I was bringing in lots of money, more than I ever had. I had some incredible work on, really exciting. And I actually had just been to have my breast checked because I felt this lump. So I think I'd had I was starting to go through this. So anyway, I was like, right, okay, you can show me, because I'm done looking, I'm fed up, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just take the other place if I can't, if this doesn't work. So we were walking down the road, and I knew, walking down the road, I was like, this is it, isn't it? I was like, where are you taking me? I know this is it. We turned around, At the end of the road, there's a pub that's got a Michelin star. This is my kind of pub. And then we stopped outside the house, and at the time I'd been doing a visualization with the color pink, because pink was a color that I wanted to symbolize my life and wealth and abundance for me, and it was working. And the door was pink. I was like, you're shitting me. I was like, this isn't right. What's going on here? So this pink door, I was like, this is the one. And I walked in, and I looked around, and I was like, there's just no way. The furniture wasn't up. It was, because it was part furnished. The furniture wasn't up. I walked in, I said, yeah, this is it. The one thing, and I knew this was it, because I compromised on one of my biggest things, and that is it. I wanted a bath, and it didn't have a bath. But it was one of the most beautiful places. Anyway, so I fell in love with it, and I met the landlady, and me and her are now really good friends. She's like my big sister. We have a really great relationship, and it was really heartbreaking to leave the other day, actually. So I moved into this. I said yes. I moved in, and had to make some pretty big stuff happen to get it. Had to bring the price down. Anyway, long story short, I got it, and it was perfect. 6 days later, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, and I'd moved in on this high, business flying, single, living in London, about to go on this wild, incredibly fun adventure. And the day I was leaving my old flat, I had to hand the keys back, and my ex was there, and at the same time I said, I'll be back in an hour, I just have to go get this result and I'll be back. And I said, and I joked, and I said, but if it's cancer, I'm going to the pub. And I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'd moved into it was like I'd stepped into my dream life, literally my vision board life. In fact, I had the type of houses that on the road that I lived on were houses that I had on my vision board, and just typical beautiful London street. And I think it's one of the most prestigious streets in Fulham, which I didn't realize. I didn't know at the time, but anyway, I moved in, and it was and I was diagnosed, and that was like somebody popped my big pink balloon. But the flat that I lived in could not have been more perfect for my cancer journey. It was the healing space that I needed. I got home every day to somewhere beautiful where I felt comfortable and I could heal. It was easy for my family to get to. I had made 2 friends in the month before who lived within a mile radius of me, and they drove me to my hospital appointments. My hospital, which was a breast cancer specialist hospital, my surgeon being one of the best surgeons for the stuff that I needed in the UK, leading in kind of robotics and all of this like surgery and doing incredible things. The hospital was a 20-minute walk away for me, a 5-minute bus journey, and a 10-minute, 15-minute bus journey, and a 5-minute ride. At the end of my road, I had a Waitrose. Obviously there was the nice pub, but I didn't really go in that very much throughout my cancer journey. I thought I'd be in there a lot more, and I never was. And I used to support Chelsea Football Club. Like, I used to support Chelsea, and their stadium was, you know, a place where I used to live. Oh, anyway, it was just, I cannot explain how perfect this place was for me. The fact that it had the pink door was the sign. It was, Roseanna, this is this place for you. This has been put on earth for you to heal. And there were months where I didn't know if I could make the rent, but I always did. My support always came in. And because since the business that I run, Roseanna Croft Jewellery, which is my baby, and she has been for 7 years, and I couldn't work. So it was bringing no money in, and, you know, I'm dealing with that now, but yeah, just say, like, I was guided to that place. Synchronicities, miracles, God led me there, and that was where I healed. And it was really heartbreaking to leave the other day. It was like the first place. I'd never lived on my own before, and it was my first place I lived on my own in. It was, you know, like, and it wasn't how I pictured it exactly, but it was perfect. And this is, you know, a huge lesson in life. Life isn't going to happen how you think it should. Life is going to happen in the highest way for you. We're here on life to learn lessons, and we're here to be, and if we follow our heart, and if we follow the synchronicities, and we listen to the whispers that life sends you, then your life will be, I want to say easier. It will be smoother. Life doesn't have to be difficult. And because you know that you're following your heart, and you know that you're being guided, and that is a wonderful place to be. You know, I know that I am here for a reason. I may not, this area, this place is not somewhere my ego would have chosen, which is why it's so scary. I'm kind of, you know, I'm integrating on a new level, and the parts of the old me are falling away. And in order for me to get here, the parts of my old life had to fall away. You have to let things slip away in order for you to really, really live the best life you possibly can. And we know nothing. We do not appreciate what is available to us. We live in a realm of infinite possibility. There is this field, you know, the quantum field available to us, where we can create the perfect life. And whilst it might not always look how we think it's supposed to look, it is what it is how it's supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. And if you can wake up and learn the lessons and kind of take the steps that your soul, your heart is guiding you to take, then you can really, really, really lead a magical life. And following these synchronicities. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling stuck, you're not quite sure, maybe ask for a sign. Like I was given the white feather, you know. I saw feathers everywhere whilst I was leaving London. I knew I was making the right decision. I actually used to have a jewellery collection of feathers. And so I just ask for a sign. Another synchronicity, I always see recurring numbers, and that is just, you know, yes, it could just be a coincidence, but it could also just be something that showing, yep, you're, you know, it's like, yep, you're kind of on track. And everything that is given to you, be grateful for it. Take it with gratitude, because it is happening for you. It is a gift. Yes, it might be a lesson to learn, but it is a gift. The fact that the sun rises and sets every single day is a miraculous gift. Be grateful for it. And and keep an eye out for the synchronicities. What feels right to you? What feels right in your body? Does your heart feel open in a decision, or does it feel closed? Do you feel like you're being forced down? You know, let's open, let's expand, and let's see what comes of that. I'm open and expanding here in London. I'm spending time in Kent. I'm spending time by the sea. Tomorrow I'm going on a hike. I haven't unpacked yet, but I have my meditation space set up. You know, I'm here to do some big things, and I'm really excited. So thank you very much for listening, for watching. I hope that you've taken something from this. If nothing else, just that miracles do exist. Miracles are everywhere, and follow the synchronicities and see where you're led to, because it could be magical. And we don't have to live this life that, you know, society has squashed us into. We are already free. We just have to choose it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you are interested in working with me one-to-one in coaching, then please click the links below. I am a spiritual and self-development coach. I help people heal and live a really fulfilled life and find their true selves. This is what I've had to do on my journey. I've gone through the absolute ringer, and I've ultimately been left with like peeling back the layers and finding out who I truly am. And I want to show people that you can do that without having to have the wake-up call of a cancer diagnosis or similar. So yes, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one coaching, we use Eastern philosophy, psychology and neuroscience to whip it all together to create a magical formula that can help you live a fulfilled life. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful, magical day, and let's connect over on Instagram. Have an amazing day. Lots of love.